Lord X, a future incarnation of 2011 who has grown older yet remains sinister. Surprisingly, I haven't made a video talking about just Lord X aside from my video relating to FNF. However, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what is known in canon made by Joe Doughboy. Who exactly he is, who are the Guardians, what are his goals, and I'll also be talking about Sonic the PC port, and a really good FNF mod that mimics the style of the PC port that I thought was worth mentioning in this video. But that'll be geared towards the end, so let's get into who exactly Lord X is. Lord X, or simply X, is the outcome of 2011 becoming older and learning to fully control his abilities. This entity was created in the void after immensely high amounts of energy, X himself being formed out of antimatter and gaining sentience. Before becoming fully Lord X, he creates the Guardians and develops even further into his power. While Lord X is playing his games, his Guardians watch over the rest of the world, keeping it in check. While they do make appearances every once in a while, that is their ultimate goal. At least according to the wiki and for now. Lord X's goal is to take what is rightfully his, or what he believes to be rightfully his, humanity. He is to rule over everything and control everything the way that he sees fit, because in his eyes, humans are his. But before discussing the Guardians, I feel it's good to get the source material where Lord X kind of became popular and where he's probably going to be represented the most. And that, of course, is the Lord X PC port, or just PC port. The PC port is actually quite short, I think only being around 7 minutes long, but it shows us exactly what we're in store for, and gives us a bit of insight as to what we can expect in the future. In this game, we play as Alan, a trapped soul placed inside of Tails. Now, it's worth noting that the events of 2011 are canon to this timeline, and we are returning to play with X once again, just now a bit differently. The gameplay here is very EXE-like. You walk in one direction, there's a chase sequence, but Tails loses his, well, Tails, poor guy. Man, it's always Tails. He's always in pain or losing something. I mean, the fact that this thing just ate his tails. After a few spooky encounters, after Tails might lose his life, it closes. Upon opening it again, we are met with this iconic screen and messages that flash for a split second. It turns out that it's Tails trying to communicate with us, though Lord X doesn't like this very much and closes them the moment they open. And it leaves us with the infamous message that follows EXE fans everywhere. I am God. In the updated version, this happens. And it shows us the character select screen we may see in the future. The game itself is actually pretty creepy. I think we can expect a good amount of stuff unrelated to FNF in the coming future, and I'm really excited to see what this character ends up becoming, if anything at all. Because as it stands right now, I actually like Lord X and his design. He has a specific demeanor to him. But what a lot of people find interesting is his minions, or rather extensions of himself, which of course this being the Guardians. What roles do they play, and what do they represent? While Lord X is playing his games, he has the Guardians watching over the rest of the world and keeping it in check. While they do make appearances every once in a while, that is their ultimate goal. It's worth noting each Guardian is an extension of Lord X himself in some way, as stated previously. The Guardians are as follows: Kaitoo, the Guardian of Prayer; Kenno, Guardian of Disgust. I'm gonna mess up some of these names, let me know down in the comments. Kofuku, Guardian of Joy; Gekito, Guardian of Rage; Zetsubo, Guardian of Despair; Kyofu, Guardian of Fear; Yokubo, Guardian of Desire. What's pretty cool about these is that each of them, as you heard, have their own title next to their name, pretty much saying what they represent. Each one of these guys also have voice actors. Since we're going into what is known about Lord X at least a little bit, I'm going to be talking about each one of these guardians. So let's get into the first one, EXE, the Guardian of Prayer. EXE keeps all worshippers of Lord X and himself in line. He resides within a temple where tons of people worship the statue. This design is honestly pretty eerie, and the only thing that moves about EXE is his tongue. That's the only thing that can move. People worship this thing. I mean, I'm not trying to go against it, so I get it. We have Kenno, which is the Guardian of Disgust, and I can see why he's named this. My boy looks like he is disgusted by everything, because he is. So much so, in fact, his entire body devolved into a massive void matter. Oh, so just me looking in the mirror then. I'm okay, guys. As stated in the name, Kenno is the extension of Lord X's disgust. And in turn of that, my personal favorite guardian, Kofuku, is the Guardian of Joy. Considered to be the friendliest guardian, this friend is one you'd be joyous to have. Shifting his face to be human to appeal to his audience, this guy loves attention and never feels anger and never feels unhappy. For this is joy incarnate. I mean, yeah, he does look a little creepy, but he's like the only friendly guardian. And if I had to encounter any guardian, it would be Kofuku. Yes, would it be hard to keep up and play with them? Like, yeah, dude doesn't get angry, but it's still very powerful, mind you. Okay, this isn't like they might hurt you accidentally because they're so happy, but if I had to pick, I would pick Kofuku. Plus, I like this design. Just looks like a guy you could be friends with, really. One who may not be as friendly is EXE, Guardian of Rage. Despite his name, he seems to be reserved a lot of the time, but his face has been permanently disfigured due to their outburst. Now, the reason I say he's not as friendly is because he's unpredictable, and I feel like that is scarier than him being mad all the time. When you think Guardian of Rage, you would naturally think somebody who's always mad, but that's more predictable. But when this guy can just blow up randomly, that is what is terrifying. Though, it's pretty funny because apparently this guy runs like a meat factory. I do like his design. I just thought like his meat processing plant is a thing. I don't know if that's true or not. It says it on the wiki. It's a little funny, right? Great design overall. Think I could say that for every one of these, but I like his little hat. He has a little hat. The next up is Zetsubo, the Guardian of Despair, only speaking in rhymes. Underwater is where you will find them, but beware as to not shine your light on them. This is the strongest guardian in terms of psychological torment. Best not to encounter them and remain dormant. Okay, that was a little cringe, but you get the idea. Zetsubo talks in riddles. While all of these are asexual and without a gender, this one is a bit more feminine. Why? It actually represents an anglerfish, and how anglerfish have little lanterns on their head, and I'm pretty sure it's only the female ones that have that. You do not want to run into this thing because it has the power to absolutely send you through mental anguish. Zetsubo may be bad. I think the one you wouldn't want to encounter the most is actually Kyofu, Guardian of Fear. Because Kyofu targets victims' body parts they are fascinated with, taking it and putting it onto themselves, calling it a collection. Not only that, but this creature can also shapeshift. It does so quite a bit. It could also shapeshift into your best friend, shapeshift into your parents, could shapeshift into anything. But there is another one. I mean, I wouldn't want to run into any of these, like, technically speaking. Moving on, last but not least, Yokubo, Guardian of Desire. Put the most arrogant, cocky person you know into a supersonic wannabe, and you got Yokubo. The strongest out of all the guardians, and one you will want to punch, like guaranteed. I will say, I think Yokubo has one of the best designs and fits. You could just tell, right? This guy is egotistical. You can look at this guy and go, yep, that's a narcissist. I don't know what it is about Yokubo, but to Yokubo's credit, right? He has one, the strongest guardian, and two, has probably the best design out of all of them. Debatable, really. I like that they went for like the golden Sonic kind of look. And those those are all 7 of the Guardians. More will come out as time goes on, and there could be some things that I missed, but I'm going off the Sonic Oddities wiki to get my information. I decided to share a few fun facts that I thought were pretty interesting about them because, honestly, Lord X having Guardians, while he may be able to do everything, he doesn't want to. So having the Guardians, he's able to keep people in line when he needs to. This character has layers, and it shows that Lord X has emotions. So let's get into some fun facts about Lord X. Lord X is canonically 3'3" and 77 pounds, which is actually kind of funny. You still don't want to mess with this guy. It's not really funny when he's teleporting or has blood coming out of his eyes. Fun fact, he also only bleeds out of his eyes when he's excited. Lord X cannot perceive fear in any way, as he enjoys the sensation of being uncomfortable. Ever wonder why Lord X looks the way he does? Well, that's because Lord X is a decayed version of Sonic, due to Lord X inhabiting his in-game sprite and causing rapid decomposition to it due to his antimatter physiology. So, over time, Lord X would cause this body to decay because it would just shed its skin. Despite calling himself God, Lord X doesn't believe himself to be one. The phrase, "I am God," is merely him mocking religion. Lord X's diet consists of the souls of his victims and meat taken from the victim's corpse. He doesn't need to eat, but he does. Lord X also knows how to play the piano, which we actually see in X's Lament, which I don't know is... I'm pretty sure that this song is canon, but it's a really good song. While not technically Lord X does know how to play the piano. Lord X will only give certain victims he enjoys playing with the Sonic form. Once his vessel fully decays and dies, he will exit the original vessel and enter the Sonic vessel of one of his favorite victims. This is a twisted way of bonding for him. Aw, what a guy. See, Lord X, honestly, my problem is that Lord X just seems like a kind guy. He's like, "Welcome back, old friend." You know, he's basically saying that he misses you, he tortures you. But I mean, like, aside from that, you know, he's a really great guy. You know, he's just trying to bond with you, you know? Lord X doesn't have toes. Yeah, okay. Lord X was initially canonically friends with Majin, MX, MCM, Squidward, and Hypno from Hypno's Lullaby. This has since been retconned due to Joe's desire to take Lord X's story more seriously. In the same post this was announced in, it was stated that every single appearance Lord X had in FNF related media isn't canon to his character. This of course includes Tricool, which was formerly stated to be canon. It isn't anymore. Speaking of Friday Night Funkin', let's get into that mod I was talking about earlier. This mod is Game Over Mix Lord X Edition by AMP or Another Normal Person. I don't know if I said that. I know I said the name of the mod weird, but it's Game Over Mix and it has Lord X instead of what was initially MX. But don't let it fool you because this mod is absolute quality. Fully equipped with the starting cutscene, ending cutscene, and a bunch of other mechanics I'm going to talk about. This mod is 100% worth your time and has an absolute bop. So, here we start off with Boyfriend getting tossed through a coin. He gets up and is greeted with a bloody-eyed Sonic. But we all know this isn't Lord Sonic and soon reveals himself to be Lord X. This song is absolutely menacing and there's a few things I want to talk about. So, first of all, the sprites are already amazing, and the way that this mod is structured is just so cool. It references the source material so well, even including a chase sequence. Now, this mod has multiple endings as well, that being 3 of them technically. And when you lose, you're locked out of the game forever. Like, you can't go back into it unless you completely delete it and then reinstall it. So, and it can be pretty difficult. So if you miss too many notes, you'll get the bad ending and you'll be kicked out of the game forever. If you keep missing notes and you lose all of your lives, you'll get the bad ending and this screen will show up. Same with if you get the bad ending without hitting as many notes as you need to, as there is a threshold that you need to meet. If you fail to do that, if you fail to hit all the notes but you survive through all of the song, well, this happens. And in Lord X fashion, we are treated to a note. Should you hit all of the notes that you need to, you'll get the good ending, where girlfriend comes in to save you, and Lord X is a little mad about that. I wanted to quickly mention this mod, as I know there's like tons of other Lord X mods that I could have talked about, but this one references the PC port, and I thought that with it being so accurate to it, and with it being as high quality of a mod, I had to mention it, okay? There's also a segment in this where you can run back and forth as boyfriend, which is so cool. And this is actually where you can get the third ending I was talking about. If you run into the lava segment here over and over again until you run out of lives, instead of the usual game over screen, you get a charred looking boyfriend, and instead you are locked out of it. And Lord X tells us that boyfriend's soul is his forever. The majority of this mod was made by one person, that being AMP, with Still the Fox helping with a tiny bit of coding and also voice acting Lord X. If you're looking for a fun, short experience, depending on how good you are at FNF, this is definitely the mod for you. And it references the source material to a T, even including a section with the Guardians. And that's so neat. And the way that it changes scenery and the way that it executes, oh, it's just so good. It's so peak. And that, my friends, is Lord X, and a little bit about his character, about the PC port, and I'm so excited to see what they do with this character. I just wanted to give a brief summary in case people were curious, as I know that this information can be a bit niche, as you might have to go out and look for it. But I wanted to include who the Guardians are, what Lord X is, and what his goal is. And also to mention this FNF mod, because I think it's honestly just that quality. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.